Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. All right, so viewer comment number 3, video response. Doing these video responses is a little bit more fun than typing out a response on YouTube. So that's why I'm doing them. Now, this comment that I'm going to respond to comes from Polar Roller, and he was responding to my last video. If you haven't seen it, link in the description. And if you want to read along with his comment, that's in the description of this video as well. So he writes, not to throw in a monkey wrench, but Austin, would you consider Rolex giving your watch a light polish when you send it in after 5 to 7 years for servicing? I would never let an independent polish my Rolex watches, but I would consider a very light polish from Rolex, maybe. I do agree with you about over polishing a watch. It's a tough question. Yes, it is. Now, I totally agree with you in regards to an independent polishing my watch or watches. I would never want that to happen. I could see going through an independent for a service, especially something like the sub where, there's a distinct risk of Rolex changing out the hands no matter what I have to say about it. And with an independent, I have more control over that. So I can see getting a service through an independent, but never would I have a polish through an independent. That wouldn't happen. So I'm with you there. Now, as far as would I have a polish along with a service, at the 7-year mark, for instance? Well, at the 5 or 7 year mark, and I'm assuming, I'm imagining, say, a new Rolex and having a new Rolex. At the 5 or 7 year mark, if it needed a service, I'd have a service, but I can't say that I would polish it. In fact, I probably wouldn't. 5 to 7 years is nothing. I would probably, let's think on down the road, 20, 25 years. Then would I have it polished? Well, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about a scenario of, what kind of damage, what kind of wear would it have to experience for me to say, yeah, let's get it polished. And I couldn't really think of anything. I guess any kind of, huge gash that would really, aesthetically, I guess, compromise the watch. I don't think a polish would take care of it. And, even something pretty significant, if something gets marred or mangled, okay, then it needs to be rectified. But, when you're talking these little superficial, hairline scratches and little nicks and little dings and these little signs of wear that are just completely cosmetic, I wouldn't go for a polish. 20, 25 years down the road, I wouldn't go for a polish. There's some people that like new things, and it kind of comes with luxury things, and I think it comes with certain Rolex wearers. They want the new, just beautiful, perfect looking watch, the new model, the perfect model. They wanted to look at like it just came out of the showroom, right? And I'm quite different. I like a watch with wear. I like a watch that looks like it has a bit of history. Sometimes I see Rolexes, and you can tell they're pretty new, and maybe the person just got it. And while those watches are nice, they feel a bit soulless. They won't in 10 or 20 years. And, this person, of course, is, perhaps has just picked up the watch and stands to, make a great future with it. And in 20 years, I think it'll look really cool. But, those new watches, they just look a little bit I don't know, just not a lot of substance, right? What really turns me on is to see not a beat up watch, but a watch that looks like, it's been with the person for years, for decades. Looks like it's got history and stories to tell, and it's seen things and it's been through things, and you can see the wear to prove it. And it's one thing a ding here or a ding there, but if you've ever seen older pieces, it's almost like the hairline scratches and the dings just sort of create this texture on the case that is just amazing. It's beautiful in a different way than just a perfect watch. And I'd hate to take that away. Now, if it's not my history on the watch, I'd have less reservation about taking it away. But if it's 20 years, 25 years, and I look down and all of these marks are my marks, and I can see the history on the watch, my history on the watch, I'd never polish it. I wouldn't do it. I'm perfectly okay with having an older looking piece. I think it looks cool. So no, I wouldn't polish it. I wouldn't want to make it look like it, just came out of the AD. I would prefer to have those, marks of my life on the watch. And that's not even addressing the whole fact that once you polish a watch, it's polished. I mean, that's another reason. So, yeah, I mean, so a different scenario. Let's say I had a safe queen and it's been, in the safe for 20 years, and I get it out and I wear it in the first week of wearing it. I really give it a good whack and I, mar the side of the case. I mean, it's not like there's a lot of history on the watch, but in that case, I still wouldn't do it because, it's gonna go from being a non-polished watch to a polished watch. So, no, the answer to Polar Roller's question, I would never have an unpolished watch polished. Okay. Now, would I have a watch polished? Yeah, I mean, I've had a watch polished, the sub, and the reason was because, well, I feel like it had already been polished anyway, and it had been polished, I suspect, by an independent, and so that polishing was more, in my view, to right a wrong. And in the future, I won't polish that watch. I'm okay with the nicks that happen from here on out. Now, as far as the Explorer 2, it's had a polish, but through an independent, and that was before I got it. So, again, I feel like I owe that a Rolex polish to sort of right what I felt was a wrong done to it. Get everything even, get everything, that nice, really ultra professional, the best polish really you can get through Rolex, and then from that point on, I won't polish it. So, yeah, essentially, I feel like if a watch has already been polished, I would polish it, right? I mean, you're taking away marks that really have no meaning to you. And especially if you suspect that the polish happened at a place, other than Rolex. But, you give me a watch that's never been polished, and I don't think I'd ever polish it. So, yeah, I'm pretty anti-polishing, to say the least. All right, well, take care. Thanks for watching. See you next time.